What is a classroom? Well, if you break the word down into three separate parts and then expand each of those parts into three full words, you get classified, rogue, omnivores. So a classroom is classified, rogue, omnivores. Let's look at the implications of this. First, if you notice, classrooms organize human beings by age or by location or by interest, and you're put into that classification. What that does, though, is it arouses the rogue, the free-willed being inside the human, to burst out, to want to shatter those classifications, to want to throw off the structure. Because every human being does have this free-willed nature, and we don't like being classified. Creation's supposed to be classified. Human beings are not. However, we are omnivores. We have a mind, heart, and body. So our mind, heart, and body are the creational components that we have. The soul, though, is the rogue. The free will is in the spiritual soul. So we're kind of stuck in two different worlds. We have this free-willed spiritual soul, and we have this mind, heart, and body, which require food. They're omnivores. And this puts creation in a very difficult position, which is why the classroom was created. The classroom is creation's attempt to teach the mind, heart, and body. But this is backwards. This is not the way things were supposed to be. Humanity was brought forth to organize creation, not be organized by creation. So something is seriously wrong. So how then is a classroom created? Well, first, it's created as a structure for humanity. You say, well, but why do we need a structure? We need a structure because our souls are fallen, dark, dead, lifeless. Originally, our souls were supposed to be the ones teaching our mind, heart, and body. But since the fall, we don't have a spiritual teacher who was supposed to be God. So our mind, heart, body are just running wild, and creation's like, we have to do something with these human bodies. They're destroying things, they're killing stuff, they're corrupting the world. So creation brings forth the classroom to make a structure for humanity. Why? To teach the mind, heart, body how to behave in a way that benefits creation, that brings forth blessings versus all these curses that we bring forth in the fallen nature. But ultimately, there's an intent on productivity here. The fallen soul is infinite spiritual darkness. There's nothing there. So the soul's desires have no end. That's a problem when that soul is connected to a body, because the body is going to express those infinite desires with a thirst and a hunger for material things. So that level of material thirst cannot be sustained. In fact, creation wasn't originally intended to sustain that. The soul was supposed to be connected to the infinite creator, be satisfied by God himself, and then the soul could turn to the mind, heart, and body and teach the mind, heart, and body how to be a blessing. But since that has all broken down, we have a soul with infinite desires, longing, hungering, thirsting, and the mind, heart, and body learn from that soul, and they just eat and they feed and they consume. So what creation does is create these classrooms to teach the mind, heart, and body how to be productive. And although it helps as people get jobs and they cultivate the earth and do things that are productive, it's still not enough. Creation is still decaying slowly towards death. So a classroom trains humanity, particularly your mind, heart, and body, how to be more like creation. But this is what we rebel from. The soul was not meant to be like creation. The soul was meant to be like the creator. So this is not really a solution. The classroom is not a long-term solution. You can't just simply teach human beings how to be like creation. We will all inevitably rebel from that. So then why create a classroom? It seems like it's a negative thing, right? Well, to be honest, it's not going anywhere. In the fallen world, someone has to do something about these human bodies running around killing each other. The classroom is currently what's being used to deal with that. However, the classroom also arouses the rogue in all of us, and particularly in those who are very gifted and determined to use their free will. So those of us who are resurrected souls, we can utilize the classroom to arouse the rogues, to find the rogues. And then we don't take them right away out of the classroom, we push them back in. Why? Because every time they're classified, every time they're hedged in, their free-willed rogue nature rises a little bit more, and that's good. And ultimately, we want to take that rogue out of the classroom and unleash them. Now, creation will never, ever unleash the rogue. Why? Because a fallen soul, if allowed to go rogue, will just destroy everything. It will bring darkness and death and decay exponentially into creation. And this is why creation has many negative implications. If you go outside the school system, you don't make as much money, you tend to get involved in drugs, and you generally have an ineffective life. Although there are exceptions, creation works very hard to keep the rogues who leave school, who leave the classroom, from having any impact on the world. But that doesn't mean we can't use that system. We can use the system to arouse the rogues, to grow the rogues, and then when the time's right, to take those young people out and unleash them in beneficial ways upon the world. So creation can rebel, your mind, heart, body can rebel, but only a human being can go rogue. A rogue is not bound by anything. In fact, you intentionally defy all current structure, and that is very dangerous from the perspective of creation. But as a creator, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. But human beings were not meant to be a rogue with no structure. We were meant to be rogues with one spiritual structure, God Himself. So who accepts a classroom? Well, first, those without direction. And none of us are born with direction. We don't have the Creator to teach us, to give us direction. So therefore, a classroom seems like a great solution. It's going to teach you how to have a career and how to work within the world. That seems like it's giving you direction. Additionally, those without drive. If you don't have a drive to do anything great in life, classroom seems like a good solution, right? There's first grade, second grade, third grade. It gives you a path in life. There's college after that. It seems like there's momentum there, that you're building towards something. So if you don't have any drive yourself, which no human being is born innately with, then classroom seems like a good solution. Also, those without destiny. And none of us are born with destiny. We're born as lifeless spiritual beings. We don't know why we're here. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing in this world to bring a blessing. So a classroom, it gives you a purpose and a direction in life and a career. It seems like it's building towards something great. It seems like that has potential. Unfortunately, this is all being run by creation. And creation just lives to survive while trying to get back to the way things were. Creation has no sense of destiny, no sense of something great to come. That's where the soul comes in. We were supposed to be walking with the Creator and directing creation towards this wondrous destiny. So the rogue inside of us knows that something's wrong with the classroom. You can't just live to survive. You can't try to get back to the way things were. You have to go on towards something amazing, something intangible. But that's what creation resists, because it knows we're fallen. We're lifeless. We're destructive forces. So it does everything it can, creation, to bring us into that classroom. So it's important to understand that a classroom expels all the rogues while embracing the rest. And although we are all rogues deep down in the soul, in the end we don't know anything. We don't have what we need to leave and give drive and direction and cast a vision of destiny. We don't have any of that, so we generally tend to accept our place in the classroom.